Hello again, and in this video we're going to finish off our enemies patrolling um, with an animated character. And in the beginning of the last video we imported this animations folder. You can get your enemy from Mixamo or anywhere else that you might be able to find animations, and we'll have some videos that go more in depth into how to set up these animations, but this one's already been pre-configured for this particular scenario. Now when you create an animation, as if you remember from the doors, you need to have an animation controller, and what I opened up here was the animator window. So if you don't have the animator window open, you go up to Windows, Animation, and then Animator, and it should open up somewhere within your editor. Now this animator window that I have, I don't know why it does this, but pan around here, and you can see it's got a variety of states. So it's basically a state machine. It starts off with this entry state and then goes to idle. And depending on what state it's called, it's going to go to walking, and then from walking back to idle, and then from idle to the melee attack when this character is attacking. Now this character has a couple of parameters here. The first one is a float value, so you can create parameters by clicking on this plus, and it pretty much gives you all your basic variable data types here. And we've also got a boolean here for when we're attacking. Now what we're going to do is we're going to drag out the character onto the agent and hide its mesh. So I'm going to go to the Marima O Desbians idle and then drag and drop it onto the agent. And I will zoom in on the agent here. It didn't seem to take, so I'll try this again. And there it is. Okay, so the character is showing up here. If I jump into the inspector, I can lower its position a bit. It's a little bit more grounded. And the agent itself, I'll just go back to this, and what I'll do is I'll get rid of the mesh renderer. So we don't need to see the mesh. And we also do not need the box collider around this guy either. So if I enter play mode real quick, I just want to make sure that he stays in the proper position. Sometimes the character, depending on the setup, can go into the ground. It doesn't seem to be letting me enter play mode. Alright, and there he goes. Alright, so we've got the character in there. The character is going to need an animation controller. So I think what we'll do is we'll add the animation controller. Let's see, to the model here. So let's see, there he is. We'll go in, we'll add component, and I'll just type in animator, and that adds the animation controller. Now this animation controller we're going to need to fill with a couple of variables here. So the first one is going to be the enemy animation controller, which is inside of that folder that we imported, and you could just drag and drop it there. Alright, so if we hit play now, it should start playing the idle. And then he starts moving around our scene. Cool. Alright, so we got him moving. We want to now start setting up his animation states. So to do that, we're going to have to jump into our code and flip some of those variables that we saw on the animator. So we're going to be turning on this moving and then this attacking to play the different states. So to get this started, what we'll do is why walking animation applied? Yes, it is. And standing animation is applied. Good. All right, I'm just checking to make sure that they're all applied. So what we're going to have to do is jump into the code. And the first thing we're going to do is create a animator variable. So we put that there earlier. So it's going to be a public animator. And we'll call it anim. And if we scroll down, we can then start playing our different animations through our code. So the first place that we're going to want to start playing animation is when we're moving just in general. Okay, so what we're going to do here is all the way at the end of our update function. This is where we're going to basically play our walking animation. So if nothing else is happening within our update, we're going to default to this animation. So we're going to say anim dot set float, because that value is a float, and the float that we're going to set is that moving variable. And we're going to set this to a value in the next parameter here, and it's going to be agent dot velocity dot square magnitude. Okay, and what that's going to take is the square magnitude of the vector 3 velocity that it's heading in, and it's going to apply it to that moving variable. And I got a comma here. That's actually supposed to be a dot, and I'm not set float moving. So if I save this, right, and I start this up, he should start walking. And he didn't. Oh, because I didn't assign the animator. So go to your agent, and actually go to the agent, and inside of our patrol script we should have that anim, and you want to drag and drop the model of the idle that's nested inside of it into anim. And let's see if we could run it now. And he starts walking. Excellent. Alright, so now that the character's walking, we want him to attack when they're within a certain distance, and then also switch back to patrolling when they're not. So let's go back to our code, and this is where we're going to start jumping around and making the character do different things. So in here where we have attack true, we're going to have anim dot set bool, and the bool that we're going to set is going to be attack. I believe that's what it's called here. Let's switch back to Unity real quick. Yep, it's attack. And we're going to set attack to be true. And you can copy this one and paste it inside of the else right below it for false when he's not attacking. The other place where we're going to want to set attack to be false is here in the else. So we'll do that as well. Alright, and I think that's it. So really this animator component is controlled by these set bools, set trigger, and also the float values that we feed into it to play the different animations. Alright, so I'm going to save the script and wait for this to update and hit play, and this time I'm going to move out so that I'm within his visibility. when he gets within a certain range, he should start beating me. And I think it's just because my stopping distance is really close. Oops. He's not stopping at a reasonable range so that I can actually see him attacking me. So if we select the agent, our stopping distance is 1. Let's set it to 2 and hit play again. To get to a point where he can see me. I should probably shut off these gizmos. Now he's attacking me. Pretty cool, right? And if I run away, if I hide long enough, he can't see me. And he goes back to doing his job. Pretty cool, right? So that's pretty much it. And in like a later class, what we'll do is we're going to go a little bit more depth into the character 3D animation stuff. But hope you have all of this put together and it's working okay for you. And if you have any questions, feel free to message me to get any answers that you might need. Thanks.